I'm afraid there's a ghost in my bed. Go to ghostbed.com/Norton for an extra 10% off. ghostbed.com/Norton. Thanks, Ghostbed, for sponsoring the podcast and for frightening me. Oh. Great news. Finally, a new tour name. Sayonara Fatso. That's what I'm calling the new tour. Why? Because I'm not a fatso anymore, and I'm saying sayonara to the old fat the piggy boy. All right, let's get a couple of dates out of the way here. Starting with May the 7th, I'm going to be in Buffalo at the town ballroom. Why don't I just put my glasses on because I want to look young and hip. May the 9th, Warren, Michigan. June 26th, 27th, I'm going to be in Chicago at the Den. July 10, 11, Stamford, Connecticut. July 24, 25, Point Pleasant, New Jersey. November the 19th, I'm making my first appearance at Brea, California, at the Brea Improv. December 4, 5, be in Freehold, New Jersey. And if you happen to watch the rest of this episode, I do a couple of live reads, and there's a piece of white cashew in my teeth, and it looks disgusting. Just ignore it. Just please don't focus on it. It's there. JimNorton.com/tour.
This is a fucking banger of an apartment.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. I've been here like 7 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, it's really nice.
Thank you, buddy.
I have a lot of pictures of topless black men on my wall as well.
All right.
I'm going to dinner tonight with Kerry King.
What's that?
I'm going to dinner tonight with Kerry King.
Oh, that's
Slayer.
Yeah. No, I was just saying that's awesome. I know he is. That's I kind of got to know him and his wife a little bit years ago. Yeah, we're live.
Oh, okay. Stop bragging and name dropping.
No,
if
I like
we're
that
live.
actually. Very few people talk about Kerry King as much as they
Kerry,
should.
Kerry King's the nicest bloke in the world.
How'd you meet him?
He came to one of my gigs in like Vegas years ago, and then he came to another gig, and then I had a dinner with his wife, and now we're friends. You know what I mean?
Isn't it weird how he looks and like he's such a nice guy? Like he looks like a savage, and then you talk to him, it's like, oh, he's just a gentleman like anybody else.
Oh yeah, he's super sweet, and like he came on my TV show when I had one, and he did like a little bit on his guitar and a little sketch for us and everything like that, and he was just really easy to work with and just the nicest bloke in the world. But then on the back of his head is like tattoos of skulls and stuff like that. And he's just the nicest guy in the world.
You're like, this guy, he's a nice guy, but he could cave my head in at any minute. Like, he's uncomfortably frightening to look at.
In principle, but I think he became a rock star at like 16.
Yeah.
You know, could you imagine? I remember when I was like a kid growing up in Australia, and I'm about 4 years older than these guys, but Silverchair came out. And Silverchair were 14 or something when they brought out that album Frog Stomp. Do you remember that album?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, they were a big band, but they were like during the grunge period. But they were like 14 years old, and they brought out the best album of the year. But they weren't allowed to tour until they finished high school. And I remember being in the shops and seeing a member of Silverchair with his mum, and his mum was picking out clothes for him. And I'm like,
did they ever tour?
Oh yeah, they still could tour to this day if they got back together.
They're still big. Okay. Kerry came to a show.
Yeah, they are on Silverchair. The lead singer, he dated Natalie Imbruglia for a while, so he must have something to him.
She was that. What was that song? Torn. Yeah, that was actually she was a really cute.
She was from the TV show Neighbours, and that brought us Margot Robbie and Kylie Minogue and Natalie Imbruglia. It's like the Australian soap, and I think they pay them like $5,000 an episode to be on this soap, and it just produces just one hot chick after the other for years and decades. It's been given it to us.
But this is before she was famous?
Yeah, well, she was famous in Australia before she was world famous.
Right. Wow. So of all the people that have come to your shows, I'm always weird when I like somebody and they like me too. Like I never know how to handle because I turn into a fan immediately and I fucking blow it.
Oh, I'm hopeless. The amount of time that I think there's been a famous person who's wanted to be my friend and then I've just screwed it up.
Yeah. Do you give yourself away as a fanboy?
Yeah, I'm no good at that, and also I'm inherently not a cool person, so I don't think I'm an easy hang. I'm not a terrible hang, but you know what I mean. Like I don't like spending time with me.
That's so funny, and I think that's why you're a great comic, because I think most funny comics or guys I admire are not cool people. Like we you know what I mean? They're just not like, Colin Quinn is brilliant. He's not a cool guy.
No.
Attila's not a fucking cool guy. He's a garden gnome. He's a lunatic.
No, for the most part, we're analytical people who sit there and try to think about things around us and see what's funny and that type of stuff. And I don't think people enjoy when you're trying a bit out on them. But where else do you try them if not with friends in a bar or something like that? Like people always go, "Oh, how do you come up with your bits?" It's chatting with your mates.
Yeah.
And hopefully something comes up, and then But no, I'm not. And especially also, I think movie stars can tell that I don't really respect what they do. I'm a fan of them because I've seen them so much. But at the end of the day, like I was just in a movie and look, I worked really hard at it and I tried really hard, but it's still not as hard as writing a new hour of stand-up and performing a thing and then having a special come out and all that grief you get, But I've met the only movie star that I've become friends with is Russell Crowe. He's the only one that I've gotten broken through the wall. And there's been moments with him when I was drinking, where I was drinking too hard and I made a dick of myself at one of his parties and stuff like that. It was one of the times that I said, "All right, I got to. You
got to stop because you're going to blow it."
I'm going to knock this on the head. Yeah.
He seems like a tough, not a tough guy to get to know. He seems like he's a little bit like he takes a little while.
He's as guarded as okay. So that photo there, I got a funny story about that photo right there. So that's David Williams on the other side, and David Williams is a sketch comic from Little Britain.
Okay. My wife's obsessed with that show.
Yeah, Little Britain. They did an American version or whatever, and I don't know if you could get it made today because there was some blackface in there. Yeah. And but very, very, very good show. Anyway, that night we were going out to a restaurant, and Russell lives in this apartment in a pier, and there's restaurants at the end of the pier, right? But in this apartment, and I'm not saying anything that no one knows. Very famous. He lives in this apartment, right? And there's probably the most expensive real estate in Sydney. It goes out into the middle of the harbour. At the end of the pier is a whole lot of like restaurants and little places to walk in and whatnot. And me, David, my wife was there. Russell's girlfriend was there, and we were all going out to a restaurant. And we go down in the lift right into the car park, and we start walking through the private car park, and it's all Mercedes and Rolls Royces and stuff like that. And we're walking along, and I think to myself, I say, "Russell, shouldn't we get out and walk along the pier and go into the restaurant?" He goes, "They know me. They know me. I eat here all the time. I'll just come in through the back door." Right? And I was like, "All right, fair enough. Russell Crowe knows that." Yeah. Right? So we get to the back door, right? It's jarred open. There's garbage bags and stuff, right? And you just burst through, and there's like a bloke doing dishes behind there who's shocked, who thinks it's an ice raid. Yeah. You know what I mean? right? It just, right? And how daunting must it be when Gladiator bounds through the door, followed by the bloke from Little Britain and the guy who says "a lot," right? And so we all stream through into the restaurant, and Russell goes past and he goes through. Now I go past the kitchen bit, and then the dishes bit, then I go into the kitchen bit where the open air bit. There's a chef like julienning vegetables. And he just stares at me like, "What the fuck's going on here?" And I walked up thinking I was being polite and went, "Oh, that looks lovely. Maybe I'll order that," right? And then I go into the foyer, to the actual restaurant, the dining area, and Russell's standing there and his shoulders are a little bit down. It's the only time I've ever heard his voice not be like completely like this, right? He just looked at me, he went, "Wrong restaurant, I went a door too early." And that was exactly. So we got out of the restaurant, walked in the street, and walked into the correct one.
Even he has moments. Isn't that kind of refreshing, though? He's one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, and even he is like, "Oh, this is embarrassing. Yeah. I suck." Has to go out the door again.
He's got a very good sense of humor on him, Russell. So he's all right. He's actually extremely funny, and you can see it in like The Good Guys. He was funny in The Good Guys.
I didn't see it.
It's a good movie. Him and Ryan Gosling. Good movie.
It is weird, like how guys get reputations as being hard to get to know, and then once you know him, you're like, "Oh, he's like everybody else I know."
Yeah, no, he's guarded because he has to be, because he's famous, and everyone always has like. It's always weird that people have that incident that he threw a phone at someone.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
You should forget about it. It was 35 years ago or something.
And I was on his side, by the way. Yeah. Anytime I hear about somebody getting a phone thrown at them, there's no way they didn't ask for it.
Yeah,
no one just throws a phone for no reason.
No one's behind the counter like that. "And your room's ready, sir?"
Yeah.
know, and would you like a cookie?
Exactly. There's always a reason behind it. And I am always on the guy's side who threw the phone.
And you know, as someone who's famous as well, sometimes in those situations, people like to fuck with the more famous person.
They do, yeah. But I'm on a level of no, I'm not even famous. I'm known in certain circles, like to anyone who sells curtains to comedy clubs that will cut the room in half. They're aware of me.
Yeah, I got the one the other day where I went to the comedy store and I went up to the door and they wandered me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we got to check. And the lady was like, no, it's Jim Jefferies. And I was like, I'm not above being wandered.
I know, but...
You know what I mean? I could have lost my fucking mind. Like, what because I'm a comedian, I'm not allowed to go mental with a gun in there? Like, come on.
That is true. I mean, just because you belong there doesn't mean that you can't do something terrible.
Take the fucking pilot in India who bloody just dumped the plane. Everyone goes, we can't figure it out. It was one guy just committing...
Oh, the Malaysian Airlines. Is that
No. It was the one in India. The one they were going from India to London. There was one bloke.
One survivor, yeah.
One survivor who was in like seat
11A.
34,
11A.
Whatever. Or yeah, 11A. That's the one.
Wow, that was the pilot ditching the plane?
The pilot was committing suicide and taking everyone else out with him.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I know that story. I do a bit about that story. I had no idea that's why he did that.
My friend Amos Gill, who I do a podcast with, he's Australian, living in New York. He gets frozen meat pies sent to him all the time because, you know, it's hard to find a meat pie in New York, understandably. And then his pies kept on getting delayed. And it turned out, remember when that FedEx plane just crashed into the depot? His pies weren't on the plane, but his pies were in the bit that got crashed into. right? Now, obviously, people died and people had their parcels late. You know, there was lots of tragedies. But the guy from the pie company writes to him, and during the tragedy, he opens the letter with, "G'day, pie lovers." Now, I know some of you might be waiting for your pies, and we love getting them for you. But
unfortunately, there's human DNA in them, and you're not getting your pies. All right, we'll come off Instagram and just keep talking. 720-820-1337. Call in if you need advice about anything, if we can help, and if not, too bad. I want you to hear this, and I want you to understand. You don't need a fancy mattress to sleep well. You just need one that works. I really want to do the whole ad through this tube. Ooh, that sounds ghost. Oh, ghost bed. Horrifying. Ghost bed does understand this, though, and it's the bed I sleep most comfortable on. You heard me complaining when I was on the road. I loved the hotels, and the beds were good, but they were not as comfortable as my ghost bed at home. Family-owned business, built by a team, over 20 years of experience. All that stuff is great, but here's what matters. It's a comfortable bed. Ghost bed mattresses, this is what I like about them, the Pro Core layer. It gives your body a little added support where it needs it most, under your hips and your back, which can really help with back pain, instead of just sitting there sinking like a lump of shit into your mattress. Another reason I love Ghost Bed, all their mattresses are competitively priced. I mean, I like that for you. Obviously, I can afford an expensive mattress, but you probably can't. All the mattresses are competitive, up to 50% less than comparable brands. You get an outstanding mattress made with premium materials, and it's not going to break your bank. What is not to love? Before I tell you to head to Ghost Bed, this particular part of the copy doesn't have the whole thing about the cooling. It is a cool bed, and I sleep comfortably on my cool bed. I really do, and I cannot recommend these highly enough. Head to ghostbed.com. Oh, no, sorry. Head to Ghostbed and, ghostbed.com, wherever you go. Take their online mattress quiz. Now the fun can begin. Get your personalized recommendation from Ghostbed Collections based on how you sleep. And for a limited time, my listeners, extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Norton. Use the promo code Norton to check out for an extra 10% off. Ghostbed.com/Norton. Promo code Norton. Upgrade your sleep with Ghostbed, makers of the coolest bed in the world. I hate Steven Singer. And he hates my new nickname for him, Singy. Whenever I see Steven Singer, I go, "What's going on, Singy?" Singggy. Singy. You know who does love Steven Singer? Moms love Steven Singer. Why? Because he provides great gifts for their stupid husbands and dumb sons to buy for them. Let's see here. Mom is the one who wakes up at sunrise. She packs lunches. She drives carpools. She fucks dad. Somehow, she keeps everything together. She's the sunrise of the family. Even when she's hungover and vomiting, she's the sunrise of the family. That's why Steven and I talked. I said, Singy, what do you got? He said, I'm going to create something special this Mother's Day. And he comes up with this brand new Sunrise 24 karat gold dip rose. The first time he showed it to me, we held each other in a tub and we wept. This exclusive rose captures the colors of the morning sunrise with sparkling blue that fades to a pinkish purple to a warm golden yellow. It's stunning. It really is. And I told him that as we cuddled in the tub, laughing nude with suds all over us. I said, oh, Singy, you've done it again. And he pinched my cheek so hard that I shat in the tub. Steven's Gold Dip Roses are a real rose dipped and preserved in real gold, guaranteed to last a lifetime. I've given them to my wife. I've given them to girlfriends, given them to a couple of given them to my mother. Everybody loves these things. They really are great. And just like a mother's love, they arrive in a beautiful gift box, shipped for free with your own personalized message. Steven's new and beautiful Sunrise Rose. It's $99, you chiseler. $99. Can't you do that for your mom or your wife or your sister who's got some kids? Whoever the fuck the mom is. IHateStevenSinger.com is the only place you can get them. Celebrate the moms who make every sunrise possible. Steven Sanger Jewelers. Singy will do a good job for you. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. But it is weird when something like that happens, when a plane crashes, you think of all the dead people, but you forget, like, there are somebody waiting for the packages who are like, it sucks. Like, that was a one-of-a-kind painting I ordered, and now it's destroyed.
Yeah.
People are grieving stuff that they can't grieve publicly.
It feels like, if you complain about it, then you're a bastard.
Yeah, I'm a piece of shit. I ordered a Kiss poster from Japan, and it got tanked. There's 14 children without fathers. But I'm upset about my thing. You look good, by the way. You look like you thinned out. And I noticed that a while ago. Like, you look a lot healthier than when I first met you.
I gave up giving up alcohol. That was most of it.
Is that still going?
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I'm 5 years and counting. I'll be close to, I think, 6 years, March 10th.
Oh, good, man. Good.
And I don't go to AA. I tried going to AA for a bit, and it didn't really suit me. I didn't like dwelling on it. And I by my admission, I still partake in weed. I still partake in THC, but nothing else. Giving up cigarettes, giving up cocaine. So my quitting happened in phases. So when my first son was born, gave up cocaine. Right, which I was already on the way out on that one.
What was it doing that you're like? Because I have no kids, but what was it doing where you're like, this is not going to work with the kids?
You're not allowed to die when you have children. You're just not allowed to die. So you got to stop doing things that make you die.
Yeah.
And before that, you're allowed to die, and that's and dying is a lot more fun than living in many ways.
Yes,
because and so I was not allowed to die. So I gave it up. And this is the thing. So watch my early specials, my HBO one, and one called Alcoholocaust, which obviously had a lot of alcohol involved. And I was drinking like 6 pints in the hour, like in the film. And everyone thought I was this legendary drinker. I wasn't. I was just on cocaine. And so the cocaine just straightened me out, right? And then I knocked cocaine on the head. And it was, I had been doing that for a decade, and I was like, I knocked that on the head, right? And then I started getting sloppy on stages because I didn't have the cocaine to straighten me out.
Right.
And that's when all my representation, all my managers and agents thought that I had fallen off the rails. And they were like, having little meetings with me. We need to talk about your drinking. And I was like, I'm actually in recovery. This is the best I've been in years. Like, it's hard to tell people you've taken a positive step when you look worse. And so then I gave up booze when my wife was pregnant with my second child. And so, he's 4, and obviously she was pregnant, so he had 5. I'm coming up to 5 years. Sorry, 5 years isn't much then. And then I gave up cigarettes like 3 years ago, and then you know, if I have another kid, I'll give up on life. That'll be me.
That'll be it.
That'll be me.
Are you gonna quit weed? No, I'm gonna buy a rope.
I'll quit walking and breathing.
What was the hardest for me? Of all the things, cigarettes was the hardest.
Cigarettes, hands down. Never. There's no. If they invent something new that they go, oh, if you put this in, there's nothing that's meant to go in your lungs besides air.
Right.
Not vape, not anything. They had for a while those little plastic ones where you're sucking in something, nicotine or something. My father's got mesothelioma. Right, he was a construction worker in the 1960s. He used to have the hose with all the asbestos in it.
Yeah.
That sprayed out the fucking roof, right? So he got mesothelioma, which is a very slow like cancer, like on his lungs. And he rings me up. He's 80 years old. I go over and see him, and he goes, "I've got something to tell you." And I fly over there and I sit down with him, and he goes, "I've got mesothelioma and I'm going to die." And, you know, obviously he's very sad. I just lost my mother at that stage. And I said to him, I said, how long have you got? And he said, the doctor says I've only got 8 years. And I'm like...
At 80?
He's 80.
It's not bad.
He's 80. I'm like, you could have fucking texted this. I might have only 8 years. 8 years. They may improve the medication in 8 years. Yeah. And so even now, I saw him at Christmas, and that's a couple of years. He's 83, 84 now. And he's better than he was then. He goes, oh, they got a new inhaler for me. I'm feeling pretty good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so this slow-moving disease might kill him at 99 now. Who knows?
That is funny, though, how like 8 years seems like, all right, that's manageable. I'm not going to panic. That's longer than I thought you had anyway. So that's actually not bad at 80.
Yeah, you go, okay, yeah, all right.
Your mom died of cancer? Or
No, my mother died of... She had... Okay, so my mother was always sick, right? So my mother had a bit of Munchausen's. We were always sick as well. And even towards the end, she told me that my father had dementia and that he won't recognize who I am very soon. She's been dead for 5 years. It turns out he doesn't have dementia. My mother would just tell you about other people's illnesses.
Really?
She had polio as a kid. So when you have polio and people visit you, right, you start to go, oh... That's how you get people to like you.
Sickness equals love.
Sickness equals love, right? So my mother was always finding ways to go into hospital and that sort of stuff. So when I was a kid, she'd slipped a disc or something in her back, and I used to think that she had such a bad back that she couldn't, if she moved ever slightly, she still could really swing a punch at you, really slap you. But if you just bumped into her, she'd be, oh my God. Like I thought she was close to being in a wheelchair.
But her rotator cuff works fine for a punch,
Exactly. That's the last thing to go as you hit.
Yeah, power's the last thing to go, yes.
Anyway, so all we heard about every day was this back, and she used to lay on wooden boards and go into traction and all that stuff. Anyway, then she got diabetes, and we just stopped hearing about the back. Just stopped hearing about it. All I heard was that she'd start injecting in front of you and, oh, I'm having hypo-attacks, my insulin levels to this, to that. Then at the end, she got Parkinson's and we didn't hear about the diabetes, right? Each thing was eating the other thing, right? And then she died and we didn't hear from her at all. But in the end, I said to her, she kept on falling over and her bones were brittle from post-polio, and she kept on falling over in the hallway. And Dad would get all the other old blokes in the street to come and prop her back up. But it's Australia, healthcare's free. They'd call an ambulance a week, right? Doesn't cost you anything.
Doesn't cost you anything.
You might as well, right? And I said, look, Mum, you need to go into a nursing home because you need complete care. Right? Dad can't be lifting you up. You can't get all the old men. It's not a heartless thing. We couldn't take care of it. We didn't have the house wasn't decked out with the right bathrooms and this, that, you know. And so she said, if I have to go to a nursing home, I'll die. I'll roll out of the bed until I break my neck and die. And I'm like, well, you're going to have to go.
Yeah.
Anyway, the ambulance comes to pick her up, right, to take her to the nursing home. And she goes, I just want to go to the bathroom one more time. She goes and has a shit. She goes to stand up. Her leg snaps, right? Fucking, who breaks their leg in front of ambulance drivers? Like in front of them. Right, they inject her, they drag her out of the house, they get her into hospital, they fix the wound. She takes too many antibiotics to make sure it wasn't get infected. Her kidneys get infected, and she it fails and she dies. Right? She never fucking went to that nursing home. That was the day she was meant to leave, man. That was the last day. There was no, so she never went in. Saved me a bucket of money.
What a crazy taking a shit What a crazy thing to happen.
It was her last seated shit, and she took it home.
That is kind of a great way to leave, though. The ambulance is here. I'll shit, break my leg, and I'm not going to that nursing home.
If it's good enough for Elvis.
Yeah, that's right. How did you handle her death? Was it my parents are both living, and I'm kind of dreading.
Your first thing is you well, obviously sad, and there's okay. So my mother, it was a difficult thing because very complicated relationship. But I will say this: there was nothing left unsaid.
Right.
If anything, we said too much. Right. My mother had, because she was always sick, had said goodbye to me so many times. Every Christmas was like this. This will be the last Christmas. And I was like, all right, here comes another Christmas. So one time I was doing the Edinburgh Festival, and my family doctor calls me up and says, your mother is dying. She won't make it through the week, right? And so I cancel the rest of my gigs. I get on a plane. This is in the era of you got no Wi-Fi on the plane. There's nothing that...
Yeah.
I land, I get there, I get to the hospital, and she's sitting upright on a fucking iPad playing solitaire, right? I've just flown for 24 fucking hours like this, right? And so, and then the doctor was like this, yeah, her spirits really picked up when she heard you were coming. Anyway, so the next time when they call me and they go, her kidneys are failing, she's going to die, I was like this, are you sure? Because if I get on a plane and that woman's not fucking dying, I'll be very upset with her. And then I remember that we were all there standing around the bed, and the doctor went, it'll be in the next 48 hours. And me and my brothers went, we'll believe it when we see it.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, right.
She's pulled through too many times before. But yeah, no, very, very sad. Yeah, very sad.
When you said you had a complicated relationship, did it build resentment like when that kind of stuff happens when you're a kid? Were you mad at her, or had you worked through all of it?
She'd said sorry for any mistakes that she'd made. But I also believe that my mother, both me and my brothers, are successful in our chosen fields, right? And I think there's a fine line between... say, depicting someone like Joe Jackson, Michael Jackson's father, right? Who was seen as abusive.
Oh, I was going to say a great man who knew how to make a singer.
That's the whole thing. Abusive, beat his children, and no one says, and got results.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Right? Like, you don't get the Jackson 5 through positive reinforcement, right? Think of your siblings right now. Think if all your siblings were told you have to dance in unison and sing in harmony, and two of you have to play instruments now, right? I'd be off getting a switch, whatever. Right? But then you can tell another story. You can go Richard Williams, King Richard, Serena and Venus Williams' father. If you tell that story differently, he's an abusive man who drags his children out in the rain on Christmas Day and makes them hit tennis balls, whether they fucking like it or not.
That's right.
But then if the story's told with love. So my mother, you could argue, was someone who was very pushy, very this. You were made to be very self-reliant. I had to pay for everything from the age of 15. I had to pay rent in the house from the age of 17. It was just really, you couldn't fail. Right. You know what I mean? You had to survive, right? And so I give her a lot of thanks for any grit or something that she may have given me. But of course there's resentment, yeah.
Yeah, but that's interesting what you said. I've never thought of that. Like people who are always sick, with that, like you said, Munchausen, I've always thought like, oh, fuck, those people are terrible. But then you just said it's because she was sick, and that made perfect sense. Like, oh yeah, that's how you get... You know, it's almost like women whose father hits them and then makes up with them. They marry an abusive guy because that's like what love is. It's get hit first.
I think she believed her shit as well, right? I don't think she... I think for my father having dementia, he forgot a few things and then she just ran with it.
Yeah.
I got diagnosed with attention deficit disorder. I haven't fucking taken any medication for that since I was 16. I seem to be completely fine. And have
Did
good
the
attention.
medication help you or no?
No, I was on amphetamines. I used to wake up to 2 Ritalins and an orange juice. That was how you woke up. It's just fucking my mum's gnarled up claw just shoving a pill in your mouth. And then my mother, when I started taking drugs, why do you take drugs? I don't know how I got the taste. Can't figure out how I got into that. Yeah, no, I got diagnosed with autism. I've been diagnosed.
Are you
with,
autistic? I didn't know that.
This is the thing. I got diagnosed with. This is a spectrum.
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
At what stage does of course there's people with severe autism and there's probably people with severe attention deficit disorder.
Right.
But I think a lot of stuff is like that's just someone's personality, isn't it?
What made them think you're autistic? I don't. Again, I know it's a spectrum, but what was it? What was the test? And they go, "Oh yeah, we think you're on it."
Well, there's several tests they can do, but I was told that I was on the spectrum. I had a psychiatrist, and then they tested me, but it was problems with eye contact, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Little problems with social cues and stuff like that. Even now to this day, if I'm out at a party and my wife is and I'm talking too much or something like that, my wife squeezes my hand twice. And if you see my wife squeeze my hand twice, I'll go like this. And what do you do?
Because you're letting them talk. Do you know who is completely autistic? Rich Voss. And I'm saying this because Bonnie will kick him. He'll be saying something at the table that's annoying, and she'll kick him, and he'll go, "Why'd you kick me?" Like, total lack of social cues. I guess that is one of the telltale signs of it.
Yeah, awkward.
Minimal support, substantial support, very substantial support. Okay.
Fidgety on everything, et cetera, et cetera. And also, I like sports cards and stuff like that. Which, if you're in the sports card community, go to a sports card show. If you're a girl out there and you want to meet an autistic, I'll tell you where to go. Well, that one has a crooked corner and a thing, and the signs need the centering's just off. And well, that's from his '84 series when they actually won the series. And the thing, 85's not as rare, but it's a rarer card, but not as important as it.
Yes,
numbers and analytics and stuff like that. That's why I think I also got so mad into baseball. Because baseball is the biggest number sport in the world.
Yes, and it's all. Let me ask you: when you collect, because I collect posters, it is an OCD, but there's a method to it. It's got to be perfect. It's got the corners.
Oh, yeah.
All the stuff you just said. What do you collect card wise?
I collect basketball and baseball and a little bit of Star Wars. But my ones that are of any value, I collect basketball and baseball, and then I get them. I get them certified at PSA, and I wait for that. To the moment, has a 45 business day hold.
Do you ship them in? Are you brave enough to ship them in?
I ship them in, but there's a place at the Burbank Sports Cards that has a booth where you can just drop them off. But I've pulled one big card in my life that I've only one big one, which I've actually sent to Golden Auction, which is going to be announced pretty soon. But for the most part, I've never pulled anything big. And
you mean just out of a pack?
Yeah, just out of a packet. But it's something that I did as a kid. And then my son, when he was about 8, I bought him a couple of packs, and I just sort of, and then I said, I'm doing it because of my son, and then it got really, that was my own problem, But I used to keep my movie tickets. I used to keep every movie ticket I ever had, and it had to be in a box, and had to be stacked up in the order of the movies I saw them. And I can tell you the first one that I started collecting, this is how far I went back, is with Uncle Buck.
Oh yeah, John Candy. Who else is in that? John Candy and who else?
Well, Macaulay Culkin.
Yes, that's right.
It's his movie before Home Alone.
Let me ask you about the cards too, because this is baseball card. Like Kiss posters, there's only going to be so much value. They don't. But baseball cards, I mean, there's an astronomical value.
At the moment, with the World Cup coming, I started investing in soccer, and soccer's gone through the roof now, right? Because everyone's starting to figure out that like a Ronaldo or a Messi rookie card is the equivalent of getting a Michael Jordan rookie card, and that these things are in shorter print and all that type of stuff. And
do you like the cards though? Do you display them? Like sometimes I'll look at something I collect and just
I
put it away, and I'm like, what am I doing?
So I only keep in my home ones that are valued under $500 each, and the rest of them I keep in a safety deposit box.
Smart, yeah.
And so I've been known just to go down to the bank and sit with my collection. Just like, is there anything? They lock me up in a room. I'll be about 20 minutes. Sit there, and they don't let you bring someone else in with you. So,
yeah, they don't.
Yeah, so I just sit like, that's a good one. Yeah. And then maybe I have a couple of I have a Babe Ruth and
you had a Babe Ruth?
Yeah,
wow.
I got a Babe Ruth and I had a Michael Jordan, and I went down to the bank and I went into the safety deposit box and I took them out and I brought them back to display at Christmas one year.
That's nice. Good for you. Good for you. Hey, look at that little thing over there. It's worth more than your house.
Yeah, so I was like, people will enjoy that they walk in for the festive cheer.
Yeah. Is there anything worse than when someone goes, "Oh, that's cool. Hey, so anyway," and they just don't understand what they're looking at? Don't you want to fucking smash their face?
Yeah. When you're trying to explain to someone my wife doesn't get it. She just goes, because she does the simple thing. It's the same thing as like men understand watches, women don't get watches.
Right.
Men don't understand handbags. We don't get what they're. And I found the cheapest wife to have. Right, and I've been through a couple. Right, get yourself a vegan. Right, what you pay a bit extra in food, ironically.
Sure.
Right, for some reason you have to pay more in food, and there's no protein involved.
Yeah.
Right, but they wear leather boots. They wear vinyl boots.
Oh,
they get
right.
vinyl handbags. Right, that's the most expensive girl presents. Right, and also I've told her that all diamonds are blood diamonds. None of them are ethical. Right, so we've got no diamonds. No leather. Oh.
So smart.
Yeah. Look. You can buy her a fucking Stella McCartney handbag because old Paul's a vegetarian. Yeah. They're all vinyl, and they're about a fifth of the price as buying something from Chanel or whatever.
What a great! That's how you get a cheap wife. Now, by the way, if you want to spend a lot on a wife, get one with a dick. They don't know how. They don't know how to shop economy at all. They like the best of things, and it's infuriating. So which Babe Ruth card do you have?
I hear they take the same. My Babe Ruth is the red Gaudi. So you see,
wow,
the 33 Gaudi there. That's yellow. There's a red version of that, which is number 149.
That one there?
Up. Number 149. There we go. That red Gaudi there. That one there. That's one's there, right?
Very nice.
Number 1933. Now, what's cool about that card is a big league chewing gum. So before that, all the cards were off cigarette packets, and that's why the Hornus Wagner is the most sought after thing, because he was on the cigarette packets. And back in like 1920 or whatever the fuck it was. At that stage, he went, I don't think cigarettes are good for people, and I don't want to advertise to kids.
Yeah, he didn't want kids buying them.
He didn't want kids buying them, right? And so this is when it turned to bubble gum, and it says big league chewing gum on the bottom. So I think there's something sort of quaint about that. That was like the cards were secondary, and there's other cards like from that pile that doesn't really mean that much. But I think that's the Gaudi is like the classic. See now
no, but it is interesting because I'm looking at that one's graded 2. Yeah. What is yours graded higher or the same? I mean, I'm sure they're hard to get graded.
Okay, so I as I said, it's in a safety deposit box.
Yeah.
Right.
That's where it should be.
I've got one graded 6.
That's very high for a Babe Ruth card, right?
For a Babe Ruth card, yeah. But in an SGC, I got it.
What's SGC?
SGC is that grading company with the tuxedo grade with the black.
Did you mail that in or did you go with it?
No, I bought it in that state. I bought it at auction.
Oh, you did? And you bought it, was already graded?
Yeah, it's already graded. It would have been graded 20, 30 years ago.
Was there any you lost at an auction that you wanted but it just went too high?
Oh, there's plenty of
What's
ones.
one that you wanted to get and you're like, I just can't do that much?
Every time I try to get, there's a Jordan Dunkin' Go Nuts, which was a piss take of Dunkin' Donuts. And it's from 1998. Yeah, Dunkin' Go Nuts. You'll see the card. Okay, the one of him dunking there. It's a see-through card. So it's like plastic.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's the card, and I just never got it at the right price. But I'd like to own that card because when I was a kid, that was not a kid. I was in my 20s, but I remember that being like a really sought after card.
And you could probably spin it to your wife too, because like I have no excuse for the crap I collect. It's never going to go up. At least these you can say are investments, and they legitimately are.
You can if you buy goats, if you buy really old plates. But the fact of the matter with card collecting, so the moment I do it with my kid wants ultra modern, so he wants to buy Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and whatever, right? But out of the current pool of basketball players, there's only LeBron James and Steph Curry will make you money. Every decade, every maybe 15 years, you get 2 players in each sport that will always make you money in cards, and the rest of them will just fade away.
Yeah.
Right? And it's, for example, Charles Barkley cards are worth fuck all. The guy was one of the best.
Yeah.
Right? They were, and even like most Shaquille O'Neal's ones aren't that much, but it's Jordan, it's LeBron, Steph Curry, and then for baseball, it's Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth, and it will be Shohei Ohtani. And people are investing heavily in Shohei Ohtani.
But what will it be? Because there's so much. This, like, I remember when I started collecting.
The only thing, if it turns out that he was actually doing the gambling, right? Because no one could fucking prove it, right?
And he didn't seem that mad. He didn't seem mad enough to have lost all that money.
Yeah, he lost so much money. It was like 50 grand a bet, and it was all meant to be on Premier League. And look, if you've got an interpreter, it was never on baseball, so that it's not it's not Pete Rose in that sense, but he's not meant to be at all. But if you've got an interpreter who does everything, how easy is it for that interpreter just to go, yeah, Shohei wants to do another bet?
Yeah.
Yep, that's what he says. He's saying that in the background. I'll sign it for you, like that, right? But that's got to be worth a movie, right? The interpreter, because if the story we're told is true, fucking how much sweat would that be? Like every day, all right, I'm going to win it back on this one. All right, Chelsea's playing Tottenham. Let's have a go. You know
Was
what
it
I
18
mean?
million or something like that? I mean, it was a lot of
I
money.
thought it was like 11.
Maybe
But it was a lot of money.
But he wasn't as mad as I would have been. Like, the way he handled it, I was shocked that he wasn't. Maybe privately he was in a rage, but he handled it publicly very calmly.
Yeah, and well, a lot of people go, well, how did you not know about the money? The guy has $1 billion, $700 million contract, and he also has
endorsements
and all that stuff. He has $1 billion. So if you had $100 and $11 went missing, you probably wouldn't.
Yeah,
Or it's even less because it's 1,000 million, right? So and lose 11, yeah, it's like $1.10.
$1.10. But you would notice it. I would still notice the $1.10, and I would still want somebody executed for losing my $1.10 when I'm betting a nickel at a time on games. Hey, fuckhead, I trusted you with that money. Oh, you want to go to a call? Oh, yeah.
Let's go to a call. So I didn't know it was going to become a sports card podcast. I'm sorry.
But it's interesting, though, like, and some people don't like it, but I don't care because I collected cards at one point, and I remember the obsession I had, and then I just kind of stopped doing it. Many of you, and by many of you, I mean all of you, remember me complaining about roaches. We had water bugs. They were coming in the bedroom from a hole in the ceiling, and they were like this. I'm not exaggerating. Some of them were like this, but they were giant, disgusting roaches. I filmed a couple. I punched one to death. It was creepy, and it was gross. We found one on the side of the bed. Anyway, nothing is worse than having bugs. This time of year brings bugs, but honestly, we had them in the winter too. Pestie. Thank God for Pestie. Pestie. Since I've used it, I have not seen a roach, and it's been months and months since we have seen anything. They send you a kit. Now, the kit's got pro-grade pesticide. It's the same stuff that the professionals use, sprayer, mixing bag, gloves, and instructions that you can complete in minutes. If I can do it, you can do it because I'm an uncoordinated idiot. Feels great knowing that Pestie is better than store-bought pesticides, which are diluted and outdated. And I love that everything I need is customized and provided in one simple kit. I don't need complicated. I need it simple. And the regular sprays the regular sprays I was using, honestly, they just weren't effective. Like, they would kill something as I saw it, but they weren't stopping anything from coming in. Here's the best part about Pestie. You can get started at just $35 a treatment with a customized plan based on your bugs, location, climate. With this DIY kit, and this is what I really liked, there are no weirdos in your house or your apartment. You don't have to make an appointment for some guy to come in and go, "Where are the bugs?" And then he starts looking through your wife's underwear drawer. I don't want some weirdo in my house. I have me. That's enough. Pestie gets rid of over 100 types of bugs, spiders, ants, roaches, of course. Oh, and scorpions. Unless you don't want to do Pestie, try the old-fashioned way. Shove your foot in a shoe and hope you don't get stung. Pestie offers a 100%. That's how you know I'm serious when I point. But this is the most amazing. Everything I've said, fine, great. This is how you know it works. Pestie offers a 100% bug-free guarantee or your money back. 100% bug-free guarantee or your money back. If the bugs do not go away, you're going to get a full refund. The kit includes a sprayer, mixing bag, pesticides, gloves, instructions you can complete in less than 10 minutes. Get bugs out of your house with Pestie. Go to Pestie, pestie.com/Norton for an extra 10% off your order. pestie.com/Norton for an extra 10% off. That's pestie.com/Norton for an extra 10% off. Let the bugs stop bugging you. Ugh. What is Quo? Quo is an AI-powered phone system. It brings calls, texts, and contacts together. You can respond faster, capture all your opportunities. You never have to lose revenue to a missed call. If your team is still operating like a group chat and nobody knows what they're doing, that's a problem. Nothing can kill momentum faster than an opportunity just falling into the toilet because somebody didn't get the call fast enough or somebody didn't know what they were doing. That's why today's episode is brought to you by Quo. Q-U-O. Let's fucking Quo. I wouldn't say that, but you can. The smarter way to run your business communications. Quo is the #1 rated business phone system on G2, over 3,000 reviews. It's built for how modern teams work. That's why more than 90,000 businesses, solo operators, growing teams rely on Quo to stay connected, professional, and more importantly, consistently reliable. Who cares if you look like an amateur, as long as you're reliable? Quo works wherever you are. Right from the app, on your phone, on your computer, lets you keep your existing number, add new numbers or teammates in minutes, sync your CRM, and rely on seamless routing and call flows as your business scales. Your entire team can handle texts and calls from one shared number. No more missed messages or disconnected conversations. Everyone sees the full thread, making replies faster, and customers feel like you're genuinely paying attention and that you genuinely care about them. Quo is not just a phone system, it's a smart system. Quo's AI automatically logs calls, generates summaries, highlights next steps, so nothing gets lost. It can even qualify leads or respond after hours, ensuring your business stays responsive even when you are finally offline. Easy. Calls, texts, voicemails, transcripts, contact details, all live in one clean view with full context at your fingertips. Your team communicates faster, stays aligned, delivers a more personal experience. Make this the time where no opportunity and no customer slips away. Try Quo for free plus 20% off your first 6 months when you go to quo.com, QUO.com/Norton. Let them know who sent you. That's QUO.com/Norton. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers.
All right, I'll tell you what happened the other day, right? And so this card, I can't announce it yet, but they're going to announce it on the. And you hear it here first. I haven't put it on my social media or anything. So, me and my son pulling cards at Christmas. Boxes aren't cheap. $500, $600 I was paying for a box of Topps Chrome basketball.
Yeah.
They've just got the license, right? So you get, 20 packs or whatever in a box and 4 cards, 6 cards a packet, right? Anyway, so I open up a box of Topps Chrome for Christmas. I give him a box, me a box, and we open up, and we probably get ourselves out of the $1,000 I spent on them, $1,200 I spent on them. We probably get $300 worth of cards back. But I always say to my son, I go, you open boxes for entertainment, but you can make money if you actually invest in cards. And I actually think it's a cool thing, the cards thing with my kid, because we go to card shows and I watch him negotiate. And at 13, now if I see him getting ripped off, I will step in.
Yes.
But other than that, I let him make his own decisions.
Right.
And I'll even let him get ripped off a little bit and go, I think you could have got more, but.
Oh, so you do sell them when you get them. You're okay. You're not
Yeah.
married to all of
If
them.
I've got one that I don't feel connected with or whatever, if there's one that I want to upgrade to another one, and I also don't want to keep spending the money, so there's a certain amount of money I've spent on them and I just want to move them around.
Yeah.
And, or if I think a player's not going to be as hot as they used to be, and. Anyway, so it was the first day of school. My son's like this. It was after Christmas, and he's like, "Oh, first day of school. I don't want to bloody go to school." Like this. And I got one more box, and I said, "Here's half the cards. Here's half the cards." And I said, "Pick your pile." And he went, dum, 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 and he picked the pile. And then we started tearing, and I opened up a card, and I can't say what it is yet because it's about to be reviewed. But this card is valued between $20,000 and $80,000.
Wow.
Right.
And you just pulled it out of a pack.
And I just pulled it out of a pack. I'll show you a photo of it afterwards.
Yeah.
I showed it, and I just pulled it out of a pack and went, oh, and it was the same thing. I went to my wife, honey. And so I've sent the card. It's off with Ken Golden now, who's the king of collectibles. If you watch on Netflix, that show. But the thing is, it was in my pile, not my son's. Now, I am over the moon that he didn't get it. Because how can you teach the fucking value for money? how am I going to make that fucker work at McDonald's and fucking earn the value of a fucking dollar if he goes, oh, how did you get that car, Hank? I pulled a card worth 80 grand when I was 13. Really sets you up.
That's so fun. But does he handle the cards? And if you're on hold, just wait. We'll get to you in 1 second. Does he handle the cards that drive you crazy? Or his hands clean? Does he handle them the way?
I get a microfiber cloth and a thing and a penny sleeve, and I like that as well. I like the meticulousness of you got to keep it nice, and I like the fact that something's valuable yet so fragile.
Yeah.
Right, so it's like they have to be encased and they have to be whatever. But as I said, it's a silly hobby for. It's just sitting looking at numbers and keeping it clean. And I have a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
That when I get new
so
cards,
do I when I jerk off.
Yeah. that was exactly. So mine's got it's a magnifying glass with a ring light around it. With a ring light, and you get better to grade cards in the dark so you can see more divots and stuff like that and turn the ring light on. So my wife walks in the room and I'm sitting there in bed with one card and a magnifying glass, and I just looked at her and trying to have a wank.
Oh God, that is funny. But I really like the the obsession with it. But by the way, how happy were you to see NFTs fail? Because they to me, I knew they weren't going to make it. They were some fucking fad because there's nothing tangible about it. They never degrade like cards. It's not hard to get them.
Well, I stick to sports, and you better bet with cards is actually Pokemon because the characters don't get injured and the characters don't
have scandals.
Yeah, they don't kill their wives or you know what I mean. Like they're all fine, right? But like that, the Logan Paul Pokemon card that he bought for 5 point something million is about to go for over 12 million, and it'll be the most expensive card in history.
Wow. Is that the one he wore around his neck?
Yeah, and he bought it like 5-6 years ago, the Illustrator. Yeah.
Why is that so high value?
It's the only PSA 10 of the rarest copy of the rarest card. I think there's 3 or 4 Illustrated. I don't really know this world as much.
Right.
But it's the rarest Pokemon. And Pokemon as a brand is bigger than Star Wars, bigger than Marvel, bigger than than Disney. It's the biggest intellectual property on earth is Pokemon.
I know that card was valuable. So did he get it from a pack? I'm sure he got it from a collector.
No. He bought it for $5 million.
Oh, that's right, $5 million. Okay.
And now they've said you can. So that Mr. Wonderful, the guy from Shark Tank, bought a card for 12 point something million, which was the biggest sale, and that was last year. And it was a patch logo, 2 patch logos of the NBA logo, and it was a Kobe and a Jordan signature on both cards. And obviously we can't get Kobe to sign anymore.
Right.
And so that card that's the card. That's the most expensive card on earth at the moment. And that card is about to be taken over by fucking Pokemon.
But that one will go up again too. That again because Kobe's on it and it's signed. But Pokemon is kind of crazy. Are there any unaccounted for? Like they
buy the boxes. They buy the boxes from all the different years, and as soon as one opens, that box goes up in value. So there's boxes of Pokemon that are like 300 grand that are unopened because the idea that it might have something in it.
But the illustrators are there still some possibly out there? They don't know.
Yeah, there'd be possibly some out there.
Have you noticed all the card shops getting robbed in Manhattan?
And this is why I keep a safety deposit box, man. They've figured it out. These people, right?
But don't they know that these cards are somehow like numbered and you're going to get caught eventually? Aren't the boxes labeled? And
crack it out of its plastic, sell it as raw.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, and nobody will ask you where you got it if it's legit.
If it's raw, yeah, and just send it off to some site or whatever like that. But yeah, for the most part. It's the same. You'd think the same about like watches, right? Like they reckon people are stealing watches. They're all serial numbered and all that type of stuff. But I don't think it matters.
Do you like watches? I hate watches. I don't like anything on my wrist.
I have 2 nice watches.
You're not crazy. About
I don't crazy. I got a couple of watches, and I've had them for years and years. Well, I like to have something on my wrist.
You do.
I had a kid the other.
So do I. A razor.
I was at my kid's little league game. And and one of these teammates go to me. He goes, Mr. Jefferies, do you really read time with that? And I'm like, yeah, that's how I read the time. And he looked at me like, sure, buddy.
It is funny how they look at you like, you old man, what are you doing with that crap on your arm? Just look at your phone. They're not wrong.
Yeah, it's the dumber the watch, the more expensive it is.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone goes, I got a smartwatch that can read my pulse, this, and how many steps I've taken, and it will give me the stock market, and I can text on it, and all that stuff. And then I've got one, if I don't move, this thing will stop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't fuck with them. I don't like them on my wrist. I never got an iWatch. We this guy who's been on hold. Just say
I'm
hello.
sorry, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry, I'm rambling about
No,
nothing.
I actually wanted to know about it.
We got about Pokemon.
Hello, you're on with Jim and Jim.
I have my 15-year-old son in the background, and he's laughing because we were watching Smiling Friends, which is this crazy program, and this guy named Mothman comes up, and I'd like to know more about Mothman, Jim.
Oh, yeah. That was a voiceover I did. They actually reached out and asked me to do it. I didn't know that this show was big. I had no idea this was a big cartoon, so I did a small part on it, and I didn't know what I was doing. I did like 5 or 6 takes, and they're like, all right, great. And then I keep getting messages. You're in this show. You're in Smiling Friends. I've never seen it.
Is there an easier gig on earth than a voiceover gig?
I wish I got more of them. But the ones I've done, I love doing.
I was in a movie called Extinct, where I played a Tasmanian tiger, which was an animated film.
Yeah.
But there's a TV show, most popular TV show on earth called Bluey.
Really?
Okay, so if you've got kids, you know, but Bluey's 8-minute episodes on Disney Plus. It's the most watched TV program on earth. It's a banger, by the way. It's a brilliant show. There's little moral things. It's heartwarming. It's like, I'll tell you what, like when new season of Bluey comes out, I started watching it and my kid was at preschool. I didn't wait for him to come home.
You actually like the show.
I probably should hold off until the child is here to give it the full impact. Anyway, the Bluey's set in Australia. It's set in Brisbane, and it's just all these different dogs. And I thought, and I do a game show for the same production company, BBC Productions, who make Bluey. And I kept on saying to the executives, I'd like to be a voice on Bluey, please, right? And they're like, oh, that's great, Jim. We'll have a look into that. Then the next day I'll be like, so, any part, I don't need much money, just a little. My kid loves that show and I'd love to be on Bluey. And then I kept on asking. And then one time I go into my dressing room and there's a crate and it's filled with every bit of Bluey merchandise ever, with plates and dolls and arts and crafty type things and jigsaw puzzles, everything. And at the top, there was a note that said, thank you for your inquiry to be on Bluey, right? And then I thought about it, right, even though I work with these people, they don't want the guy who says a lot on the kids show.
Yeah.
Right? I've said jokes. I've done some, I get it.
I know. No one cares how good Epstein's voice was. There's things they don't want him on.
Yeah, so I get it. So I'm never going to be on Bluey, the one cartoon that my voice would actually be appropriate for.
Isn't it funny that you forget that, like, the jokes we've done, and I'm like, oh yeah, no wonder they don't want to
I've always lived under the old, you watch Eddie Murphy's Delirious and Raw, and then he still did Daddy Daycare.
That is true, and Shrek.
But then I also remember that I'm not Eddie Murphy.
Yes, Eddie Murphy is a proven billion-dollar home run.
Yeah, they're like, that guy might add to the box office.
Yeah, you're right. I look at something
I'm not risk-worthy.
Yeah, exactly. Eddie proved that he's a success in that area, so they're like, all right, no one cares about the old stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's a good point. They're like, thanks a lot for asking.
I got to do some open mic children's cartoons. Work my way up.
And I've never heard of this show. I have no kids. I've never heard of this show.
Bluey's, it's fantastic. But 8 minutes, very quick. It's also, there's this weird thing that it's in these pastel colors. And if you watch online, it turns out that those pastel colors, everyone says dogs can see in black and white because they only have 8 cones or something like that, right? But they can also see these pastels, and it's meant to be that dogs can watch it as well. And there's lots of footage of dogs just staring at Bluey. Right?
They like it.
Everyone likes Bluey. And the sale of blue heelers have gone through the roof in America because everyone watches the show, which is an Australian cattle dog, which is mixed with like a wild dog, I believe. But you need to fucking exercise those. Man, you can't. They need to go on a fucking. We're still going. You know what I mean? You can't be in New York. You need a yard. To have a blue heeler. Did that answer your question, mate?
Oh yeah. He hung up 25 minutes ago. Well, he actually asked me a question about a comedic thing, and I gave him a real answer about the audition. What a bore I am. Well, sir, it's funny. I was in traffic. Shut up. All right, you're on with Jim and Jim. Hello.
Oh, goodness gracious. Jim, what's up, guys?
Hey, buddy.
Hi.
I just wanted to say you guys are hilarious, and I just want to say something first, and it's going to lead into my question.
Sure.
There's a clip on YouTube, and it's how I found out about Jim Jefferies. It's him, you, and Patrice on O&A. And some of the funniest shit you'll see on YouTube, the title of it is Y'all Niggas Gay. And it's basically 80% of the time is guys talking about your sexcapades.
I know about this.
I don't remember this.
Was
Patrice
Patrice was so disgusting.
Patrice was, if I remember rightly, I haven't listened to it back, but I kind of remember this, is that Patrice believes if there's any other cocks in the room during sex, then you're a homosexual. And I'm like, I always, I think that adds to the experience. I as long as I'm not rubbing cocks again, but like even, there's
it happens.
Look, it's like autism. It's a rainbow. It's a spectrum.
Exactly. There's a difference between an accidental bump and docking. Docking is really a commitment to it. Yeah.
Yeah. With docking, I've talked about the docking. So do you need one circumcised, one uncircumcised? Do you need both uncircumcised?
I'm guessing if both people wish to enjoy the dock, I'm imagining both should be uncut, but I don't know. I've never docked.
I think you would have. I see you'd have it fold over and fold over. I think it's more the Lego model, where you have like an out bit and in bit.
That's right. So one guy can't enjoy it.
The worst way to do if you go a male and a female would be if you were talking about electronics. But I haven't done it.
Yeah, I haven't either. Believe it or not, it's shocking.
But Patrice, man, that was. I'm very happy that I've got a look. If that's the only way I'm connected with Patrice O'Neill is in a clip that says "you N-words are gay,"
and calling us both homosexuals.
I will take that. I will take that. Not many comics had that opportunity. What a joy!
Do you know how many people have told me that they wish he was alive just so he could analyze my marriage? Oh my God, if Patrice were alive. I'm like, I know. I wish he was too. I would take the hit. I miss him.
But it leads to my questions to you guys, because like I said, it was hilarious and just been an inspiring comic. I'm not gonna call myself a comedian, whatever the case is, and that honesty. Like, at what point? Because I know they played a clip of Jim in his early years, and he says it himself, where he was like, "I was just trying to be accepted." At what point did you get to when did you develop your fuck it? Where it's like, fuck it, I'm gonna put it out there. The honesty, transparent. And for real, to me, that's what makes you guys great. So was it a point, or was it something that you had to gradually learn?
I think
to kind of just get to the
all
point
comics,
like, fuck it.
At least is how all comedians' favorite comedians should be themselves, because you're literally doing the show that you want to see.
Right.
Right? You're literally doing the jokes that you find funny, right? So it's engineered just for you, right? And so I always grew up, there was an Australian comic called Rodney Rude, who was the most offensive bloke, right? Who was like this sort of cultist. He's still going, he's like in his 90s, but super edgy comedian, Rodney Rude. There he is, there's Rudes.
He looks like Carlin a little bit in that picture.
Oh yeah, he's something else. Anyway, so I wanted to be like this offensive comic and all that type of stuff. And I think maybe... if I had kids, I would have started off differently, because now I have a little bit less take me or leave me. I'm like, oh God, my kids are going. And there's things that I look back in my stand-up where it's like talking about drugs and fucking, and I'm like, there's things like my son's mother. I talk about sex with her, right, quite graphically.
Yeah. And
then it's like it's any day now, right? He's 13. Any day now, I have to go, sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. But when you have no one to say sorry to, that's very liberating.
That's a great point, because people with kids, I guess I'll never have kids, but do you really change, like, because you start to think, and it's not about being woke or anything, you start to think like,
what, is your wife too old, or what's going to happen here?
Well, she just doesn't want them. She's like, no, she says only anal. I'm like, all right.
What, all the docking in the world can't produce one child?
Not one child. We flushed quite a few. Oh, the whole generation on my back. So it does change the way you...
That's what I always like. You always lifted up the cum community.
It does change the way you do material and think, I guess, because you realize my kid might see this.
But now I'm like, not really. Like, I still do it now because the gate's already open.
Sure,
you know what I mean? It's already open. But I don't know if I had kids when I was starting out, whether I would have had the same sort of fuck you attitude. And there's even things where it's like, it costs you some work. You know what I mean? Like, some work, people will say you're too offensive for this, you're too offensive for that. And I always find it, even like, as I said with the Bluey thing, like, I've done a bit of acting of late, and it's like, I know that it goes against you. You know, certain jokes you've said, or
Sure.
you know, but what are you going to do? Did I answer your question, man? My fuck it just came out of necessity, I think. Oh wow, I always say this, guys. So what I do is when I get off stage, the first thing I do when I go off stage is I have an edible, right? And that's my little night out. And I'm going to go home and I'm going to order food and I'm going to sit and get high and eat food, right? And I have the edible, but I also do a meet and greet after the show, right? Where normally between 50 and 100 people have bought a special meet and greet ticket, and you take a photo and you have a little conversation. I take the edible, so when you get to about maybe person number 70, I'm super high by that photo, right? And by that photo, I'm super high. You know you've taken too much weed when someone's paid $100 to meet you and they stop the conversation.
They're like, all right, man, no, it was good meeting you, but I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah, they're literally like this. There's a lot of people waiting.
Yeah.
It's great, Jim. And I'm like, well, say hello to the kids. Hope Johnny does well on that maths exam.
You realize you've gotten in too far with one anonymous guy. Yeah,
do you ever chat to people who come up and talk to you because you give so much of you on like I remember on the Opie Anthony show, and people know so much about you, and in your stand-up, they know so much about you, that when people come up to you, they talk to you personally, and you don't know for a while whether this is someone you've met personally or someone who, because they're how they're talking to.
Yes.
Sometimes they come to me and go, how's Hank? And I go, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then I'll go like this, like, I'll make the call. I go, I guess I've met this person in and so I'll go like this, how's your family? And they're like, why are you asking me? Oh, you've never met me. One time I was in Kansas and I was going to play fucking Stanford and Sons Comedy Club. Remember that one?
Yeah. I never did it, but I remember it.
It was owned by these brothers that were all fucking drug dealers and stuff. It was great. Anyway, so I'm at the airport and they'd always send you like one of the bartenders to come and pick you up to take you to the hotel, you know, someone who worked at the club or a doorman or something. This guy comes in a pickup truck and he parks there and he leans out the window and goes, Jim Jefferies? And I said, g'day, mate. And then I threw my bag in the back of his pickup truck and I got up in the seat and he goes, I don't know you.
I'm just a fan.
Just a fan. So I had to go out, take it back out. Nice meeting you, mate. The other car was behind me.
Yeah, there were those weird little humiliations. That really does bring you back down to earth. When the guy didn't even want you in his car.
Yeah. And he was like, all right. He goes, I can take you somewhere if you like.
I did take a ride from a guy in Dublin. I've only done Dublin once. And I was walking down the street and he was yelling my name and he goes, you want to ride? And I actually jumped in and took a ride.
Dublin Island, right?
Yeah.
How good a city is that one?
I was in and out in like 2 days, but it was crazy that I accepted the ride. I was just so happy somebody there knew me.
It's a friendly place, Dublin. It's still got that little, it's a bit punchy.
Yeah.
A little bit, but all of Ireland's a bit. So so I'm the anti-gun guy, right? I've had, which isn't the easiest thing after what happened in Bondi, right? So when your most famous routine is Australia hasn't had a massacre in 30 years, right? And then what happens? There's people making memes of you and stuff like that, right? But I'll say this about guns, right? So I just toured Europe and I've toured Australia. When I was in Australia, I saw a whole lot of punch-ups and stuff like that. And then I was in Britain and I saw someone get glassed.
What's glassed?
Okay, it's smashing a glass into someone's face.
Okay.
So the British are the only people who use the word glass as a verb to glass someone. Right?
I've never heard that.
Yeah. So, well, this is the reason why, because you live in America. These things don't happen. And it's not because you're more civilized, it's because someone might have a gun.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
Right? So we have no school shootings and far less deaths, but less people have, James Bond scars coming down from their eye.
From being glassed.
From being glassed. So you can say what you want about guns, but it does keep you people polite. And the less strict the gun laws, the more polite the place.
That's
so
right.
New York and California, where the gun laws are really strict, everyone's like, hey, fuck you, buddy, I'm walking here, get the fuck out of here, like this. Go down to the South, it's like, after you, kind sir. Well, let me open that door for you.
That's a great point. 'Cause you never know who's concealed carrying.
It keeps you polite.
It does.
And there's no bar fights. And also I noticed in road, I gave someone the finger when I was in Australia, and the guy got out of his car and stood in front, and I was like, this never happens in America.
Or if it does, it ends badly.
Yeah, because no one steps out of the vehicles. You just go, and if someone did, you'd go, oh, what are they stepping out of the vehicle for? They deserve what they get.
Well, there's been some stories about people getting shot, like kids getting shot in the back seats of cars because they have road rage incidents with the parent, and the guy will shoot. I think they're trying to shoot into the back seat to scare the driver, and they don't realize there's a kid back there. And it's happened a few times where they just accidentally kill someone in the next car.
That's why I have my baby on board don't shoot sticker.
That's right. It will prevent
They're
them.
not hard to get. It's just sensible parenting.
And make sure you signal and don't yell at somebody. And if somebody's trying to cut in, let them go. It's not worth getting shot for.
But some people deserve the finger every now and
100%.
again. Just every now and again.
And some people deserve the result of the finger. Believe me. That's why I don't own one. I don't trust myself. I know I would brandish it. I know road rage would get me locked up. I know it.
I always said like me, because Anthony used to just have them out on coffee tables and stuff.
Oh, he still does. Yeah.
Yeah, like you got to. He's got. It must have better mental fortitude than I do, right?
No one's ever said that about Anthony.
Well, because I wake up with depression. If I had a gun on the bedside table, I'd use it as a fucking snooze button.
Yeah, I get that. The depression would.
Yeah, it's just too easy.
It's right there.
I would have to have a gun that you'd have to put together like a fucking 12-pack of Lego. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like in stages, and all right, I'm ready to go now. But I couldn't boom, no.
That's a great point. Because that's one of the reasons I never had it is because I was afraid I would use it destructively. Like I know I get depressed too fast and I crash too hard.
Yeah.
Do you still get that?
I'd still get it. To this day, it's much less without the drinking, and the drinking used to be there to sort of mask that depression, but that only made it worse in the next day, and it was an instant gratification. But I won't get into it. But I still do.
What will trigger it at this point?
Strangely, it used to be when I was younger. It was career and relationship.
Yeah.
was the two thing. And now it's sort of worse because I can't quite put my finger on it as much. It's just out and out depression. But it'll be worrying about the future of my children. It'll be worrying about my interpersonal relationships or something like that, or just good old fashioned self hate.
Yeah.
And good old fashioned self hate, that'll always come and get you, no matter what.
It's like a weird chemical thing that you could just feel it in your chest. It's
hard
to describe.
No, and I have a long history through my family of this type of stuff, and it was a lot worse. You know what? I'm writing my biography at the moment, right, as you do when you get to this age. Mm-hmm. And as I'm writing it, I was talking about all the stuff in the 20s, and I talked about it, like me living in London and this magical time of going to the Edinburgh Festival and all this sort of stuff. And then I sent it to a friend to read who lived with me during that era of my life. And he goes, yeah, no, everything's accurate, everything's good. He goes, except you're always telling me you're going to kill yourself. And I was like this, these are the best years of my life. You can't get better. And he was like, you told me weekly, right? And so I'm like, I'll go back. It was the best of times, the worst of times. That seems like an original intro. And we put up my old man George Lazenby up there.
Yeah, one of my friends wrote, asked him about a story.
Okay, I've got so many George Lazenby stories, it's unbelievable. George Lazenby played my father in my sitcom, and George played James Bond in Her Majesty's Secret Service. And I've got a couple of George stories, right? So George would tell you about every fucking woman he'd ever bedded in his life.
Good for him.
Right? And in the 1960s, that man was the #1 male model in the world. He had never acted. He went into the audition, wore the same suit, got the same tailor on Savile Road, and he wore the same suit that Sean Connery said. And he goes, I've been doing a lot of movies in Bulgaria and Romania and all this type of stuff, right? And they were like, oh, well, he must have done it. And then they set him off, and they wanted to find out whether he was gay or not, and they sent an assistant in, and he goes, yeah, they found out pretty quick that I wasn't, you know. Anyway, so it was just, I shagged this bird, I shagged that bird. He was signed on to, I believe, 5 James Bond movies, and then grew his hair long and a beard, and he shows up for the premiere. And it was the end of the 60s, and we're going into the 70s, and he was like, I don't want to look like a stiff in short hair. And they were like, do you want to get out of the contract? Because George has been drinking a lot. Like. So anyway.
So he only did one movie.
One movie, and then the next time you see George, he's a bad guy in the Bruce Lee movies. You know what I mean? Like, and he was one of Bruce Lee's coffin bearers, right?
Oh, wow.
But he married Pam Shrier, the tennis player, and all this type of stuff, right? There he is, Steve McQueen, and you know. So anyway, so I'm sitting there with George, and the first day, and he's talked about this girl, that girl, this girl, that girl, and I go to him. I said, hey George, I go, you ever fuck a Bond girl? And he goes, it'd be easier to tell you the ones I haven't fucked. And then he sort of siled up. He goes, they all go to the conventions, and I'm the only Bond who shows up. so I get the pick of the litter. And so he's fucking like an 80-year-old Ursula Andrews, like not in a prime, in a Motel 6 with black and white headshots up and down the bedside table. Yeah, he was a funny cat. It's like my son was at that stage.
Is he alive or dead?
He's still alive.
Oh, good for him.
My son was about 1 year old, and Kate, my son's mother, Kate Lavin, if you want to get her up on the pictures, right? She comes on, Luybn, and she
Luybn, yeah.
Ben.
Luyben.
Yeah, there we go. So,
wow,
there's Kate, right? So Kate rocks up. She has our baby's one, right? And she rocks up on set, and she's just given birth, and she's got big breasts on her, on Kate like this. And George had just been talking about fucking this woman, that woman, this woman, that woman, right? And fucking, in she comes on set with my baby, right? They come and have lunch with us, right? And he goes, oh, look at that. Come here, like this. And then I thought, oh, this is sweet. He grabs my baby, passes it to me, cups her breasts and goes, whoa. All right, George. All right, so this is the last story.
Were you mad or no? You just
look, James Bond. At the end of the day, it's still James Bond.
That's right.
Right? She'd been around Hollywood enough to go, all right, it's just an old bloke being, like, it wasn't going to be the end of the world. It wasn't. And look, hell of a story.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
So one time I'm sitting on set. I'm sitting on set, and on either side of me is, and now I met on Opie and Anthony together. I met John Ratzenberg. And
right.
John Ratzenberg was on talking about how Americans should get trades and stuff like that. And we were on the Opie and Anthony show together, and I started doing John Ratzenberg impersonations of every single time. I was like, me and my brother used to watch. You can see this footage; it's quite good. But me and my brother used to watch movies. And whenever John Ratzenberg popped up, we always act like it was just Cliff, but he lived in that world. Right?
Yes.
So, like, he's in Empire Strikes Back. He's the one that the blaster shields have to because otherwise Han Solo will freeze in the snow, and he's got his tauntaun, all that sort of stuff. And so it's always like, hey, you got to put those blaster shields down, or you're not going to be able. And then there's a bit where he picks up Candace, Murphy Brown lady, whatever her name
Candace Bergen.
Candace Bergen. He picks her up in a Jeep to take her to Gandhi in the movie Gandhi. Yeah, there's this thin Indian fella who won't be eating for a while, I tell you that for nothing. Anyway, so after that, I wanted to cast him as the father in my sitcom. And so at one stage, and me and John got along really well. Different political views and many things, but we bonded on a lot of different things. And he's the type of, I have a lot of time for John, very nice man. Anyway, so I got John Ratzenberg sitting on one side of me, and I got George Lazenby sitting on the one side of me. We're in the makeup chairs, and we got one of them's getting makeup done. I'm getting my hair done, and George is just so used to it because he was a model. He's got the dimple in his chin, and he just sort of sitting there in the mirror like this. And they're trying to find common ground to talk on these two old blokes, right? You know, and he goes, "Where did they make that Bond movie you were in? Where did they make that?" And he goes, I was in France, all over France and the Alps and all over in the cities and everything was all done in France. And then he goes, oh, yeah, I love France. Yeah, wonderful place. He goes, what's your favorite bit of France there, George? And George goes, well, there's a place in Italy you can fuck the prostitutes by the side of the road. That's his favorite part of France. Right? And I saw the three girls doing makeup and hair just stopped. You could see them in the mirror. They all just stopped. And I went, all right, hang on here. Do you mean like in a field? Like in a field? Because if it's in everywhere is on the side of a road, George. That's the whole thing about roads. They get us to all buildings. If there's a building, it's on the side of the road. So what do you mean by the side of a road? And he looked at John, he looked back at me, and then he looked back in the mirror and he goes, I think it's pretty obvious. I still don't know.
I don't know what he means either.
Every time I'm driving around Italy now, I'm just looking for prostitutes in the fields.
And he's one of those old school guys that just isn't afraid of saying it, and he's not used to people getting offended.
He was funny. He was charming and all that type of stuff. But there's a story that I wasn't. Look, he's old now, right? I could hang out with George all day, but they brought him. I wasn't here for this, but I read about this. But they brought him on. When they do like the Hollywood Bowl will do the music of James Bond, and then the orchestra will play as the footage plays behind you, and dun, 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 someone comes out. And one of the big thing was they had George, right? And George would come out. Now people were there with their kids having picnics and stuff like that, and he's like, anyway, so I had sex with that actress during the fucking Q&A. He was answering questions that haven't been asked.
Oh, what a classic!
More power to him.
Do you think he regrets not doing more Bond, like showing up to the premiere like that?
100%.
He does.
100%. Yeah, you couldn't not. It was a big opportunity, but not many people get to say they're James Bond either.
Yeah.
And you watch it, and that movie, Her Majesty's Secret Service, is still regarded as one of the top 3 or 4 Bond movies. Some people put it as the top one for storyline. It's the only one where he gets married. There's tragedy in it. There's thing. It's a really, really good Bond. But with me and DJ Qualls used to have a game on set called Bond Movies as named by George Lazenby. And so, Octopussy, I've kept that one the same. It's already good. Dr. No, but she means yes. On Her Majesty's tits. It's not a complicated thing.
Good for him. I love hearing old school guys like that. They're the funnest guys to talk to.
Funnest guys to
talk to. They don't care. They're not worried about offending anybody.
I'm trying to say these stories with love, to be honest with you. And if any of his family members are offended or something, you've met George.
You know it. These are not as bad.
You've met George. I could do worse.
Who followed him? Was it Roger Moore?
Okay, so they had George come back in, and then I believe Sean Connery came back to do one more afterwards to steady the ship, and then Roger Moore.
Okay,
so then you went Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Bronson, the guy we got now.
Oh, Craig. Craig.
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig, yeah. I'm not a big Bond fan. I've seen some. I like them, but I should probably go back and watch them. The franchise never just grabbed me.
I like when they've got lots of gadgets, and now they've taken away too many gadgets. But there's a story where they reckon Pierce Bronson had given up the role, and he could have done one more, and he gave it to Daniel Craig, and he was filming on a lot, and he was in Mamma Mia. And so he was in an ABBA spandex suit with like flares and everything, and he walked past Daniel Craig in the tuxedo as James Bond. Like, oh, so you're doing well?
Yeah, like, why did I give this up for this shit? Who did the most? Is it Daniel Craig or Sean Connery?
I don't know. I don't know, because, okay, so Lazenby did 1, Timothy Dalton did 2, Roger Moore, maybe Roger Moore.
Oh.
No, Roger Moore and Sean Connery, for the record, are the most James Bond. Both actors are starring in 7.
Who's your least favorite Bond? Or do you not care enough?
Yeah, I don't care enough. I like them all in their own way. I actually really think Timothy Dalton was underrated, but I think that's because Living Daylights was the one that I saw when I was a teenager, and they reckon the one that you saw as a teenager was always going to be your favourite.
Yeah. That's the one that stuck. And Lazenby's the only guy that did one only.
I miss the gadgets, and I miss the guy that's having sex with like 7 women. What is it? Now it's always one, and he seems to lament. Like, he used to just have sex with a woman just to get a tidbit of information.
Yeah, he'd fuck the info out of him, which is great.
Yeah, they'll go, oh, James, I'll give you the information now. Now's not the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like those. I think Connery in real life would talk about things that really piss people off.
Well, you've heard the Sean Connery slap thing.
Of course.
Yeah, Barbara Walters.
I literally want to buy a Connery poster after that. Just for saying it. I'm like, just the fact that he said it and didn't give a shit about what people thought of him.
It's weird when you get to being uncancelable. My father's uncancelable now, right?
That's right,
He's in his 80s, and so we're getting some real good. I'll
Some
tell you what's
gems.
funny. So my father has a girlfriend at the moment, right? And he met, and I talked about this on Theo Vaughan's podcast, and I'm not going to get into it, but my nephew died in a helicopter accident for the military. And so there's a park bench that is a memorial to my nephew. He was only 22, young lad. My father was missing his grandson. He drove into the city to sit on that bench, and when he sat on the bench, there was another woman in her 80s already sitting there, and they got talking, and that's my dad's the girlfriend that he dates, right?
Wow. So he said, this is my grandson's name on this bench.
Yeah. And now he keeps a plaque in his top pocket and slaps it on, bus stops. And but it was his grandson's bench. Yeah. So good conversation starter.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's funny to watch because my father has never dated a woman since my mother. I met my mother in the 60s. So this is his first time dating a woman in the era of mobile phones. Right? So we went and spent Christmas in Perth. My father lives in Sydney, and he was in trouble with this girl he was dating, and he goes, bloody, I think she's high maintenance. Right? He goes, she expects a text at Christmas and New Year's. Right? Now, this is a man who, remember back in the day, well, I don't even remember, it's too long ago for me, but it must have been good back in the day. I'm going on vacation. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You sent a fucking postcard and you moved on with your day.
That's right. And you're home before the postcard got there. Yes, 100%.
But he's like this. He's like, I got a text her, bloody fucking high maintenance. I'm like, welcome to fucking 2025, son.
That is funny.
That's what you got to do. And she'll expect a call on her birthday and all.
It is funny that an 80-year-old woman wants text messages. An 80-year-old woman is like, what the fuck are you doing? Send me a message.
I didn't know we were still seeing each other. He didn't text me at Christmas. Yeah. I told you I was going away. I heard him. I told you I was going away. I'm not back for a week. And I said, Dad, now that you have that phone, you're never away.
That's right.
Being away is over.
And he doesn't like that.
Yeah, he's like, but I'll tell you what, for all the years, he was like, oh, you bloody kids on your phones and you this. He loves reels. He loves real. So there was a few things that happened, right? So my father inherited my mother's phone when she died. That's when he got his first phone. Because he inherited the phone, he also inherited my mother's Instagram, right? My mother had been dead for 4 years, and out of nowhere, it was like she was trying to speak to us from the great beyond because she started following a lot of sluts, right? Right? Every porn star started popping up on my mother's Instagram page. And for about a year and a half there, I couldn't talk about it on stage or anything because my father didn't know that we could see who he follows. And this was like a gift that I wasn't willing to give up on.
No, I don't blame
I was
you.
like, no, we're not giving up on this. This is an always thing. And it's funny because me and my brothers, that was we don't always get along, the three of us. We love each other, but we don't always get along. And it was the first time that the three of us had a group chat called Who Did Dad Have a Wank To Last Night? Right? But I'd wake up, they'd get it in real time living in Australia. Like that must have been excited. But I'd always have that sense of Christmas in the morning.
Yeah.
Like I'd rush to my phone, whose dad started following. And you know what I saw? I saw a man evolve. I saw a man that he was strictly just Asian women and tall blondes with silicon tits. That was his two things. And then like out of nowhere, Mexican woman with tattoos. Ooh, someone's getting a bit spicy.
You're watching this mental thing, and he has no idea. That's so funny that they have no idea people know who they follow.
But this is the thing. So the Instagram is his only bit of internet that he's figured out because it's caveman internet.
Yeah.
Like, follow, this, that. And he just watches reels and reels and reels. Now, obviously, he's tried to get porn through Instagram but can't do it, right? So he's typed in all the different words, but he can't get there because his reels are quite so we're at Christmas. My son and the 4-year-old and the 13-year-old sing. This is a year before actually. So the 12-year-old and the 3-year-old were singing some Christmas carols. The 12-year-old was helping out the 3-year-old sing Jingle Bells like that, and their grandfather is sitting there, and I thought he was filming, right? Because he had his phone up, but he was going through reels. So his grandchildren in the corner, jingle bells, jingle bells, and then he doesn't think that anyone else can hear his phone but him. He thinks that it's just this cocoon of sound that only he can think. And so he's obviously typed in the word vagina, trying to get to see a vagina, right? But they won't show you a vagina on Instagram, but they will talk to you about vaginas medically.
Yes.
Right? So it would be like jingle bells, and then it'll be a report. There'll be some woman that will just go, a lot of people think that you lose elasticity in your vagina after giving birth. Well, that's absolutely not true. Jingle bells, jingle bells. And then another medical thing. The hymen is a layer that will jingle all the way.
Good for him.
And the 12-year-old's like, oh, Dad, Your granddad's watching some pretty creepy stuff over there.
And he doesn't know people can see it.
Doesn't know people can hear it.
It is funny to watch old people. Like, I'm old to a lot of people, so I don't navigate it. But somebody who really doesn't know how to navigate it, past the first step and thinks they're going to get porn on Instagram, he will find out how to get porn.
This is the thing. So my wife is sitting next to my wife was pregnant at the time. She was sitting next to my father at one of my shows. And my opening act's Amos Gill, who's a local New York lad now. He's from Australia, but he lives in New York now. And so Amos will be at the Beacon Theatre if you're coming to. Amos is on stage and Amos is going like this. He goes, anyway, you know when you're on fucking Pornhub and Pornhub this and whatever joke involved Pornhub a lot, right? Pornhub this, Pornhub that, Pornhub. My dad, sitting next to my pregnant wife, pulls out a pad out of his top pocket and writes Pornhub and then puts it back in his pocket. He's just been given a new bit of information. I'll tell you another dad story, right? So Brad Pitt was my weatherman on my TV show, right? That's a subtle thing, right? Brad's the ultimate example of I can't make friends with people. He liked my comedy and stuff. I try my best, but I get too nervous around the back. Anyway, so
Brad Pitt, you said?
Yeah.
You did say Brad Pitt. I thought so. Okay,
yeah. So he was my weatherman on my show.
Oh,
right?
on your show. Okay, yes.
On my show, he's my weatherman. And he had this this Italian fitted designer suit that he wore as the weatherman that he brought in. It was his own suit. We didn't for wardrobe. And he did the weatherman like 3 or 4 times. If he was in town, he'd pop in and film one. You know what I mean? Like, he was just a really nice guy. Anyway, the show gets cancelled and I get a call from wardrobe going, oh, what suits do you want to keep and what suits don't you want to keep? And they go, we also have Brad Pitt's personal suit here. And the girl there was like, if you give me his address, I'll drop it off like that, right? And I was like, no, I'll take care of it. I'll call Brad. Yeah. So I text Brad, right? I only text him like once a year, you know.
You don't want to abuse it.
Yeah, you don't want to abuse it.
Yeah.
So I text him. I go, g'day, Brad. I said, I got your suit, right? I said, you want me to drop it off, or I can get a runner to leave it at your house or something like that? He goes. And he texts back, no problem. Sorry to hear about your show. And he goes, give it to Goodwill. Like, fuck, I'm going to give the suit to Goodwill, right? So I'm in my office. They're taking out furniture and stuff like that. I squeeze myself into Brad Pitt's suit. I look like Pee Wee Herman, right? Right? The buttons won't reach up, and I've got shorts. I'm taller than him, and fucking. And so I was like, oh, well, fuck, I can't wear this suit. And I said, but I know someone who'd fit into it, right? So Christmas Day rocks around. My mother had just passed away at that stage, and my dad came over to spend Christmas with us in LA, and I had Brad Pitt's suit wrapped up for him like this, right? And I go to him, I go, Dad, this suit is, he goes, fits him perfectly. He's got the same shoulders as Brad Pitt. His tummy's a little bit more paunch,
yeah,
you know, but it fits him really nice in the shoulders and the sleeves and the height and everything's right. And I go, this suit, Dad. I said, this was Brad Pitt's suit. Brad Pitt personally owned this suit, right? And then he goes, who's Brad Pitt? This is how old the cunt is. Who's Brad Pitt? And I said, he's an actor. And he goes, what's he been in? I go, yeah, Legends of the Fire. I go through these movies, Seven. Well, you know, he's Brad Pitt, right? And he goes, oh, the weather bloke off your show. And I said, yes, yeah, the weather bloke off my show used to wear this suit. This is his suit, right? And then he goes, and people will know who he is, will they? And I said, women like this guy. This guy's popular with the female folk, right? And so the next day, he'd rung some friend up and they said, oh, yeah, no, everyone knows who Brad Pitt is. And I showed Dad a photo. I said, here's a photo. I said, Jim Jefferies weatherman. And you can see the actual, it's very easy to get the photo of the suit. And he goes to my assistant. The next day he comes over, he goes to my assistant, Jack, and he goes, Jack, I need a pocket-size laminated version of this photo. So what my dad he wears the Brad Pitt suit, has a picture of Brad Pitt wearing the suit in his top pocket.
Laminated.
And he goes, and if I'm on a date with a woman and they start to lose interest, then I whack it out just at the end. He always gets them back. And he goes, and you know what? You're right. They all like him.
Yeah.
He goes, you were bang on. You were bang on. The women, they all like him.
Oh, I think we're...
we only answered 2 calls. Let's do another call.
Let's do one more call, yeah. Let's do one more call.
Sorry,
this is really fun, man. Yes, you're on with Jim and Jim.
Jim, thank you for having me on.
Hey,
Honest
buddy.
to God, my favorite two Jims in the whole wide world.
Well,
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you very
Apparently,
much.
you never heard of Jim Jones.
Now that I'm done licking balls, so I'm a comic, go by Trippy Hippie, my stage name from Rochester. Been doing it about 5 years. I lived in New York a few months. Shit hit the fan. I had to come back. I'm saving up money, planning on moving back. And my questions are, so I have a chance to audition at Broadway for like that industry room thing. Do you know what I'm speaking of?
I do not.
Like a thing they do at Broadway. I'm 5 years in. I feel like I got a tight 15. I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I know I'm far away from being anything special.
Right.
I'm not. That's not my point here. But like, should I, in my position, and with me not being in New York, no one really knows me yet. I literally have two friends that are semi kind of big out there. Should I get a little bit more footing out there before I waste my time trying to do that? Because, like, you know, I got to bring 4 or 5 people, $25 a ticket. Obviously, I'm going to pay for their tickets. I'm spending $100-something a pop. What's your opinion on that with the bringer shows?
You're only new once, right? So if you're going to actually go to a show and you don't think you're going to smash it, then don't, because that'll be the memory they have of you.
That's right.
Is not smashing it, right? So you're better to be prepared than not. But at 5 years, you should be prepared enough to be going to do open mics and stuff like that. How far away do you live? You said
Rochester? That's like 6 hours.
Oh, 6 hours. Right. Okay. Well, that's well, man. If you want to do it, you have to move to wherever it is. It's like any business. You know, if you want to be a miner, you have to go where the coal mines are. You can't just start digging in your backyard. Right.
That's right.
You know? Me.
Well, Jim and I have the same advice. If you want to make it in show business, move to where the miners are.
Have they renamed that island yet?
I would say this, and thank you for the call. I would say this: if you don't feel confident enough, give yourself a little more time. But after Jim's right, after 5 years, you should be able to go up and do 15 somewhere.
Yeah, you got to have a solid 15
and be comfortable. And you're never going to have a magical day where you just know it's going to work. There's always going to be a little doubt, and you know that's kind of part of it. But I would say just come down here, feel out the scene for 6 months, and then try it.
I always so the opening section of the movie Jersey Boys lost me. Right?
I've never seen it.
I watched the movie for literally 5 seconds, and then it frustrated me. There's a thing that Americans do that annoys me. So as a person who had to come into this country and fight to get a work permit, then fight to get a green card, and then had to have people sponsor me and all that type of stuff, right? It's like I am a big fan of legal immigration, and I had to work my ass off to be an immigrant in this country, and I do think that there shouldn't be illegal immigrants, etc. But that's another argument altogether. But whenever I see like someone go like, who would have thought that a girl, like get an Oscar, and they're like, who would have thought that a girl from Oklahoma, growing up in Oklahoma, I never thought. What do you mean growing up in fucking Oklahoma? All you had to get is on a plane for fucking 2 hours, and you're in fucking Los Angeles. Get the fuck out of here! Don't tell me about your struggles getting on a fucking Southwest flight. Like fuck you, right? And the opening line of Jersey Boys is this: the only way to get out of New Jersey was to join the mob or become an entertainer. Well, go over the bridge to fucking New York, you were on the footstep of every opportunity on earth. I'll tell you what's hard to get out of: Sydney. Sydney's way harder to get a spot in fucking New York. And then there's cities harder than that, right? Yeah, there's no way to get out of New York. Get some ambition.
It is funny how you take for granted when you live here, you can just drive over the bridge and be in New York.
The land of the free. But you know, you get. But even when people grow up in Manhattan, they're like this. Well, you know, it's pretty tough growing up in Hell's Kitchen, and you're like near the theater district. What? Could you only get one Broadway musical in a month? You little like fuck off. It's meant to be the opportunity everywhere. Opportunity all around you in this city. If you can't make it here, you can, like they go, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. If you can make it in wherever that has called us from, then you can make it anywhere.
That's right. If you can make it in Utica.
Yeah. If you become a star from Utica because of Utica, then Utica gets a song.
All right. Well, thank you for the call, sir. Appreciate it, and good luck. Take that suggestion. Jim, I love you, man. Thank you for coming
thank you,
on.
man.
I'm really happy you came.
It was good chat. We haven't chatted like this for a long time, man. And I appreciate you having me. And anytime you want to have me on, man.
Thank you, brother.
Jim.
Very
Thank
much.
you, man.
And, JimJefferies.com. And, Jim is everywhere. So.
Thank you so much for calling my show. The episode's over, it's time to go. Good luck, stupid. Good luck, stupid. I hope everything works out. Good luck, stupid. Good luck, stupid. Don't blame me when it doesn't work out. Good luck, stupid. Good luck, stupid. Don't blame me when it doesn't work out.